All right, so event calendar is live. Couple exciting things to talk about here. Let's break it down for you guys. This is from December 5th to December 12th, but they're usually like a day ahead. So that's why it is December 4th, but this is already live in game. Starting at 5 o'clock my time, but I'm Alaska time, so that's probably a little early. It's probably pretty late for most people. I would say, anywhere from 6 to 9 for most people that are playing this game if you are American. There's a couple exciting events here. This seems to be, now that I've been playing this game for a while, there seems to be a pretty typical routine, and we are on this version of the rotation here. So we got the Voyage event with Claude. When it comes to these, the Voyage events, whatever character you can get from this is a pure whale mechanic. There's no way to save for this. There's no way to get around this except spending money. So whatever character you see there, just know that that's going to be pure money. Okay, so we got the Voyage. This is just roll the dice. I like it. It's easy. The rewards seem good. As long as it's not the one where you smash the things, the rewards are bad on that one, and it's boring, and it's not engaging at all. This one, I pretty much just go for whatever the free-to-play rewards are, but you got to get all the way to round 11 to be able to get this guy. So like this pure whale stuff, I just go for here, and if I get lucky on the rolls, maybe I spend $1 or something like that to get this right here. But that's pretty much all I go for when it comes to this event. Really nothing exciting there. I think that's just pure whale stuff. And then the next thing on the roadmap is enhancement goals. That's normal. Equipment, wish drop, totally normal. But then the thing that probably my favorite event that they got in this game is the increased rate up for dungeons. I absolutely love this event. This is such a good event. The triple equipment wish drop right here, where what you can do is you go to one of these dungeons, and then you get to choose which one you want to get. Normally, I'm just, based on what I'm building, I kind of switch between which one I want to farm. I pretty much got all of these on stage 26 farm. I could do rum a little bit better. Main thing that I like about this is you can target a specific thing, so you get a really increased rate up on it. It does take a lot of energy, and I do understand that we just had the double rate ups. I think it's kind of scummy of them to time it like that, where we go from the double rate ups on the eggs, and then now it's going to be the good version for being able to farm dungeons. So unfortunately, we can't double dip there or plan ahead for it. I think early to mid game players are all going to be wanting food. I still want food, and I have a lot of characters that are fully ranked up. We're always going to be wanting food. It's just the nature of the business for them to want to time it like this. Raid does this, these guys do this. At least it's like separate events. And then eventually what's going to happen is we're going to need to be able to choose, do I want to farm dragon eggs or do I want to farm gear? Think of that in the future, but at the moment, any chance we can get on a double dragon egg event, we're going to take it. So it just feels bad at the moment. But in the future, we're going to be like, okay, do I really need to level up characters? I think my gear's bad, so I'm just going to wait for this event. The things I like to do for this, I want to say it legitimately changed my account in the beginning. This would really cause a lot of progression for me early. Gwyneth was definitely the big thing that helped catapult my account into being able to do content, whether it be harder versions of campaign or the harder dungeons, because it has the combination of the effect hit and the mastery gear sets. So this is a super clutch combination here. Also, the crit rate is not bad. I'll totally take that. And then some of the supports, I threw them in defense sets, but it's not the best, because I really like these two right here, because for the most part, being able to clear content is going to take either HP burn characters most of the time or bleed characters. And then poison characters are still good too. They have a lot of survivability. If you have a good poison team, bleed team, or HP burn team nowadays, I think this is going to be a really good first step for you to be able to make sure those are landing. I got a lot of success from farming a ton of this and being able to target in on, I went with effect hit, because in the beginning, being able to get enough effect hit was a really big deal. And so being able to have a 3 times more chance to get that specific type of gear is awesome. Then as you get past here, especially 26, you absolutely need to have a severe wound character. I have been trying Additional here. She's okay when it comes to it. She has a 3-turn cooldown to guarantee severe wound, especially if you have her exclusive 1. It can't be resisted. It's just guaranteed to land. It's all right. You still need to have good damage for this because it's on the 3-turn cooldown. It's not something that you can keep replying. I wanted to try her out to see if it was actually worth leveling her, because she's kind of like the budget option version of being able to apply the severe wound, be able to handle it. Before, if you have good HP burners, you can do a lower stage and not have to worry about the mechanic of the boss healing. And another reason why I like this boss so much is because the waves are pretty easy compared to other ones. Like, for example, Rum, wave 2 is super hard. Ifrit, just the boss itself is really hard because he's so fast. He's like the only outlier and has like 3,000 speed or like high 2,000s, whereas everyone caps at 2,200 to give you an idea. He's like 1,000 speed faster. So when you don't have good gear, you're going to get outpaced and killed pretty quick by Ifrit. Also, the mobs are actually pretty difficult. Whereas on this one, you get good gear, you get easy waves, and the big thing is just the mechanics. If you have a severe wound character, even better. So that's another reason why I really liked Gwyneth early. And then if trying to beat stage 26, if you don't have the mechanic to be able to reduce the healing, don't even bother. It's just not going to happen. Each time the event comes around, easily the biggest progress I get. Also, when it comes to being able to target the pieces, as you kind of do these a lot, what's nice is you get to target a specific piece, and then when it comes back around, you can target the other side of it, and then all the bad rolls, you just can start crafting them. That's another thing that I really like too. Like, let's say you farm a ton of mastery, and then you want to farm speed and health. So then you can start making endurance sets, which I think is the best for HP burners. I think this is the way to go. I used to think it was accuracy sets, but now I'm pretty convinced it is these ones here, because the HP and the mastery both increase their damage, so, and their survivability. So it's like a great double dip there. You target one of the bosses that has both pieces of the crafting. So that's one of the reasons why I like Rum, is because you have the speed and you have the HP, so you can craft both of them just right off Rum. And you'll find that HP sets can be crafted with a lot of these pieces. So it's pretty versatile. And also just the 20% HP is really nice, especially on your shielders, whether it be Liz, whether it be Wim. Really good set. Speed, also really good set. So you can't go wrong with Rum either. There's that. What else on the roadmap here? Let's take a look. The Miracle Wish. This is actually really sick. It's all bleed characters. And there's a couple new characters that I don't know. I'm not in the content creator program, so I don't know what the other characters are. But so here you can see the theme here. So we got Elsa and Elbeck. I believe those are new characters. But then Nidrold, Elena, and Alina. So those are mostly bleed characters there. And then we got Crayon is probably the new epic. It seems to be that's their typical release cadence, where they have 2 new legendaries and 1 new epic every single time. And then they have other characters that are very similar in Lomas, but then Lomas is a bleed character, but then Vero and Teres, I believe Teres is a burn character, I believe. And Vero, I use as food. So whenever I read the character, I thought that character was trash. That's going to be the raid up here. So hopefully people have stuff saved. On my free-to-play, doing the series on that, Alina and Nidrold are the 2 characters I'm using as my main carries, and they're sick. I think they're super good, especially now with the new bleed changes. They just happen to be really good bleed characters, so I feel like bleed is not a good enough debuff to just get carried by the debuff. Whereas HP burners, they can have just a terrible kit, but they have HP burn, so it's all good. Whereas with bleed characters, not necessarily the case. You can argue that it means bleed is not as good and not as strong. I mean, it's obviously not as good, but you can argue that it's just not good enough, or you just realize like that's probably bleed, in my opinion, I think is balanced, whereas HP burn's not. So that's how I look at it, at least. But you can't nerf it. This game's too hard to be able to nerf HP burn. You just got to bring it up to par. Okay, I think that's it. I think those are the main things when it comes to this. Really excited. By far my favorite event in the equipment one. I'm curious to hear what you guys actually are targeting in the dungeons. I know most people are probably tapped on energy anyway, so maybe not going to even be touching this event because most people are focusing on the dragon eggs. Which is totally understandable. And if you have no energy, I wouldn't feel bad about that because you did the right thing. But maybe consider going forward that if you already have 5 characters, hopefully you pick good 5 characters. So you don't need to really be leveling too much. Maybe it's time to focus on some gear, which is tough to recommend because gear is random. But you can at least try to give yourself as many opportunities as possible to make it good. So whereas food is very objective, like here's stats, here's going to be a character, they're finally usable, it improves your sanctuary. It's really tough to go wrong with getting food in this game. That's going to be it with this video. I'm going to end it here. You guys have a good one. Peace.